Hello everyone, this is Dr. Priyanka. I'll be talking on the topic dural folds. So talking about the Falx cerebri, you can see it is a sickle shaped fold of the dura mater which is having the narrow anterior end, and as you trace it behind it becomes broader and goes and joins with the tentorium cerebelli. This is the tentorium cerebelli. The anterior end is attached to the crista galli, whereas the posterior end, which is broad, will go and get attached to the tentorium cerebelli in the midline. Then it has got a superior convex border which is attached to the lips of the sagittal sutures on the vault of the skull, and a free inferior concave margin. Okay, so this is the superior convex margin and this is the inferior concave margin. Then we'll see which are the sinuses which are present in this folds. So along the convex superior border you have got the superior sagittal sinus, and along the concave inferior border we have the inferior sagittal sinus, and where the Falx cerebri goes and joins with the tentorium cerebelli in the midline, here will be the straight sinus. So this is about the Falx cerebri. Next, moving to the tentorium cerebelli, you can see this is the tentorium cerebelli, which is a tent-like fold, and it has got the concave free border and a attached margin. So it has got the concave free border which is called as the tentorial notch, and it will be attached to the anterior clinoid process. Now coming to the attachments of the posterior border, it will be attached to the transverse sulcus which is present on either side of the internal occipital protuberance, and along this transverse sulcus will have the transverse sinus within it. Then coming to the further extension of the attached margin, anterolaterally it will be attached to the upper border of the petrous part of the temporal bone. Then finally it will go and get attached to the apex. Then the final attachment will be to the posterior clinoid process. So this is about the tentorium cerebelli. One more thing you have to know here is this is a superior surface of the tentorium cerebelli which will divide the cranial cavity into the compartments. So whatever the compartment is present above the superior surface of the tentorium cerebelli will be the supratentorial compartment, and below this, that is the inferior surface, will be the infratentorial compartment. So this is the tentorial cerebelli. Then next, moving to the Falx cerebelli, which is present on the inferior surface of the tentorium cerebelli. So this fold what you are seeing, this is the tentorium cerebelli. So this tentorium cerebelli will separate the two cerebellar hemispheres. So last fold which will be seeing will the diaphragma sellae. So diaphragma sellae will be present here, which is nothing but a transverse fold of dura mater, that is the inner meningeal layer of the dura mater, which will be forming the roof of the sella turcica. So this is the sella turcica, and anteriorly it will be attached to the dorsum sellae, whereas posteriorly it will be attached to the tuberculum sellae, and on either side it will merge with the dura mater of the middle cranial fossa. So this is the diaphragma sellae, and in the center of the diaphragma sellae you will be having the aperture through which passes the stalk of the pituitary gland. Here in the skull I will be showing the attachments of the tentorium cerebelli. Tentorium cerebelli, as I have told you, it has got the attached margin. So the attached margin is attached to the transverse sulcus, to the lips of the transverse sulcus. You can see this is the transverse sulcus which is projecting on either side of the internal occipital protuberance. So this is the posterior attachment. Then coming anterolaterally, it will be attached to the upper border of the petrous part of the temporal bone. Then it will go till the apex, and finally it will go and get attached to the posterior clinoid process. So this is the attachment of the attached margin of the tentorium cerebelli. Coming to the free margin, finally I have told you it will get attached to the anterior clinoid process. The area of the crossing of the free margin and the attached margin, lateral to that you will have a depression which is called as the Cavum trigeminale, which is nothing but the dural recess, and in this Cavum trigeminale you will have the trigeminal ganglion, and anterior to the crossing of the free margin and the attached margin will be the oculomotor trigone, where you will have the third and the fourth cranial nerve. So and within the tentorial notch will be present the midbrain. Falx cerebri, anteriorly it is attached to the crista galli and posteriorly it is attached to the internal occipital protuberance. Falx cerebelli, it is attached posteriorly to the internal occipital crest and anteriorly it will be attached to the posterior margin of the foramen magnum. So this is about the dural folds and their attachment, and why these dural folds should be present in the cranium is that because it will divide the cranial cavity into compartments and it will not allow the brain to move. There is a restricted movement of the brain. So that is the main function of the dural folds. Along with this, it will give attachment to the dural venous sinuses. Quickly we will revise the sinuses which are present in the dural folds. Along the convex upper margin of the falx cerebri you will have the superior sagittal sinus. Along the concave inferior margin will be the inferior sagittal sinus. Then where the falx cerebri will go and join the tentorium cerebelli, in the midline will be the straight sinus. Then along the attached margin of the tentorium cerebelli you will have the transverse sinus. Then below, this is the falx cerebelli where you will have the occipital sinus. Thank you.